The article was originally published in the New York Times. Link to the article is in the description below. If you like watching our videos, subscribe and hit the like button so we can keep publishing. The money would help pay for addiction treatment and drug education programs in communities across the United States. Walmart, the largest retailer in the United States, has agreed to pay $3.1 billion to resolve thousands of lawsuits over its pharmacies' roles in the opioid crisis, the company and lawyers for states, local governments and tribes announced Tuesday. The agreement follows tentative deals announced this month by CVS and Walgreens, which are still being negotiated. If finalized, the total amount from the three giant pharmacy retailers would reach about $13.1 billion, including $400 million for Native American tribes. The tribes would be paid $89 million just from the Walmart deal, Steve Skikos, a lawyer for the tribes, said. The money from this and earlier settlements with pharmaceutical companies is expected to go toward drug treatment and education programs to help communities combat a continuing addiction wave, now largely fueled by illegal fentanyl. The pharmacy chains were the last sectors in the pharmaceutical industry to be sued in a public health disaster that continues to contribute to the overdose deaths of thousands of Americans. Devastating losses. Drug overdose deaths, largely caused by the synthetic opioid drug fentanyl, reached record highs in the United States in 2021. Here's what you should know to keep your loved ones safe. Understand fentanyl's effects. Fentanyl is a potent and fast-acting drug, two qualities that also make it highly addictive. A small quantity goes a long way, so it's easy to suffer an overdose. With fentanyl, there is only a short window of time to intervene and save a person's life during an overdose. Stick to licensed pharmacies. Prescription drugs sold online or by unlicensed dealers marketed as OxyContin, Vicodin, and Xanax are often laced with fentanyl. Only take pills that were prescribed by your doctor and came from a licensed pharmacy. Talk to your loved ones. The best way to prevent fentanyl use is to educate your loved ones, including teens, about it. Explain what fentanyl is and that it can be found in pills bought online or from friends. Aim to establish an ongoing dialogue in short spurts rather than one long, formal conversation. Learn how to spot an overdose. When someone overdoses from fentanyl, breathing slows and their skin often turns a bluish hue. If you think someone is overdosing, call 911 right away. If you're concerned that a loved one could be exposed to fentanyl, you may want to buy naloxone, a medicine that can rapidly reverse an opioid overdose and is often available at local pharmacies without prescription. They have been the most difficult to compel to come to the negotiating table, asserting throughout the years that their local pharmacists were merely filling doctor-ordered prescriptions of federally approved medications. Plaintiffs' lawyers countered that the pharmacists showed flagrant disregard of the tragedies occurring outside their doors, as vast quantities of prescription painkillers, often wildly disproportionate to local populations, were being diverted to drug dealers and sold illegally. Though Walmart would pay less in its settlement than either Walgreens or CVS, it would dispense the money far faster, with the bulk going out within the first year and the remainder in payments through 2028. In contrast, Walgreens is expected to pay $4.79 billion over 15 years to the states and local governments and $154.5 million to the tribes. CVS is expected to pay $4.9 billion to states and municipal governments over the next 10 years and about $130 million to tribes. The Walmart settlement provides the fastest and most truncated stream of abatement fees to communities of any of the pharmacy settlements, said Paul Geller, a lawyer for the local governments, which is particularly noteworthy considering that Walmart's opioid dispensing was less than the other large pharmacy chains in both number and strength of pills. Like earlier settlement agreements, the Walmart deal must be approved by a large majority of state and local governments to take full effect. Josh Stein, the Attorney General of North Carolina, said the Walmart agreement was on track for approval by 43 states by the end of this year, opening the door for local governments to sign on by the first quarter of 2023. In a statement, the company said, Walmart believes the settlement framework is in the best interest of all parties and will provide significant aid to communities across the country in the fight against the opioid crisis, with aid reaching state and local governments faster than any other nationwide opioid settlement to date. But the statement also said the company still strongly disputes the allegations against it in the lawsuits. This settlement framework does not include any admission of liability, the statement said. William Tong, the Attorney General of Connecticut, noted that the Walmart agreement included court-ordered requirements to tightly monitor prescriptions as a stopgap against so-called pill mill doctors, as well as to prevent patients from seeking multiple prescriptions for opioids. Similar safety guard measures have been introduced in opioid settlement deals with companies across the pharmaceutical industry, including manufacturers and distributors, in an effort to slow down the widespread abuse. Mr. Stein, the North Carolina Attorney General, said, "This deal with Walmart adds to the important progress we've already achieved through our settlements with the opioid manufacturers and distributors, and we're not done yet." Plaintiffs' lawyers said that some earlier agreements were not yet final and that deals were also being sought with smaller pharmacy chains and drug manufacturers.